Okay, today we're going to continue what we were talking about yesterday, and we're going to be graphing and then finding minimum and maximums of quadratics. So we're just going to dive right in. The first one says graph y equals 3x squared minus 6x plus 2. So let's identify a and b. So remember, this is ax squared plus bx plus c. So a is 3 and b is negative 6. So now we're going to fill it in to x equals negative b over 2a. So the opposite of b, right, negative 6 is positive 6 over 2 times a. Well, a is 3. So over 2 times 3. So 6 over 6 is 1, right? So we know that it's going to have an axis of symmetry through 1. Okay, so I kind of put it out of order. The axis of symmetry down here would be x equals 1. So I know that my quadratic is going to have an axis of symmetry through x equals 1. Now that I know that x is 1, I'm going to go ahead and figure out, okay, well, what would be the y value? I know my vertex is somewhere on here, but I got to figure out where it is. So I'm going to plug 1 into my original quadratic. So 3 times 1 squared minus 6 times 1 plus 2. So 3 times 1 squared would be 3 times 1 is 3, minus 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2. 3 minus 6 is negative 3. Negative 3 plus 2 would be negative 1. So when my x value was 1, my y value was negative 1. So this right here is going to be the vertex of my quadratic. Okay, so now yesterday, all we had to do when we were trying to graph them is they were all on 0, or 2 days ago, right? So we went negative 1, positive 1, negative 2, positive 2. Now the axis of symmetry is going to be here. So if I go 1 to the left, if I put in a 0 for x, right? If I put in a x is 0, and I plug that into my original quadratic, that would be 3 times 0 minus 6 times 0. So 0 minus 0 plus 2. So when I put a 0 into my quadratic for x, I got out a positive 2. So because we know that quadratics mirror, right, on either side of the axis of symmetry, do I need to plug in 2? No, because I know it's going to give me 2. An x of 2 is going to give me a y of 2. 2 squared is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 minus 6 times 2 is 12. 12 minus 12 is 0, plus 2 is 2. Right? So 1 to the left gave me 2, so 1 to the right of my axis of symmetry. So now if I wanted to go 2 to the right, that's going to be an x value of 1, 2, 3. So what if I plug in x is 3 into my quadratic? I'm going to get 3 times 3 squared is 9 minus 6 times 3 plus 2. So 27 minus 18 is 9, plus 2 is 11. So when I plugged in a 3, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Do y'all see how that's 2 to the right of my axis of symmetry? So 2 to the left would also be positive 11. So that's as far as I'm going to go. I'm going to connect them with my curved line, and that would be the parabola for y equals 3x squared minus 6x plus 2. Okay, let's look down at this one where it says graph the function y equals 3x squared plus 12x minus 1. So first thing, let's find out what x is. So negative b over 2 times a. 2 times 3 is 6. Negative 12 over 6 is negative 2. So I know that my axis of symmetry is going to be here on negative 2. Okay, so now I just need to figure out, well, where's the vertex going to go? So if x is negative 2, I'm going to plug that in. So 3 times negative 2 squared plus 12 times negative 2 minus 1. So negative 2 squared is 4. 3 times 4 is 12. 12 times negative 2 is negative 24 minus 1. So 12 And then minus 24 is negative 12. Minus 1 would be negative 13. So negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay, so let's go 1 to the left. If I move 1 to the left, that's going to be a x value of negative 1, 2, 3. So if I put in an x of negative 3, let's see what happens. So I have 3 times negative 3 squared plus 12 times negative 3 minus 1. So negative 3 squared is 9. 9 times 3 is 27. 12 plus negative 3, 12 times negative 3 would be minus 36 minus 1. 27 minus 36 is negative 9. Negative 9 minus 1 is negative 10. So when I put in negative 3, I got out negative 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And remember, it's going to mirror on either side. I can even start it. Okay, so I'm going to just go ahead and plug in a 0 because that's always easy. What if I plug in a 0? So 3 times 0 squared is 0. And then plus 12 times 0 is 0. Minus 1 is negative 1. So 0, negative 1. I can even take this over 1 like that. So there's my parabola. Okay, let's look at the function 2x squared minus 8x plus 7. So step number 1 is to figure out what the axis of symmetry is. So it's negative b over 2a. So negative 8 is positive 8 over 2 times a. 2 times 2 is 4. 8 over 4 is 2. So my axis of symmetry is going to be over here on x is 2. Now we need to figure out where's the vertex. So the vertex is going to be on this axis of symmetry. So I'm going to plug in this x value into this quadratic to see, okay, well, if this is the x, what's the y? And the y value when x is 2 is going to be the vertex. So y equals 2 times 2 squared minus 8 times 2 plus 7. So 2 times 4 is 8. Minus 16 is negative 8, plus 7 would be negative 1. So that's my vertex. So now I'm going to start picking x values to the left and to the right. Okay, I might even go ahead and plug in a 0, right? What happens when x is 0? So 2 times 0 is 0, minus 8 times 0 is 0, plus 7. So when I plugged in a 0, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 2 to the right would be positive 7 over there. So let's go ahead and plug in 1 and let's see what would happen. So 2 times 1 squared minus 8 times 1 plus 7. 1 squared is 1. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 minus 8 is negative 6. Negative 6 plus 7 is positive 1. I messed up somewhere. Where did Miss McAnally mess up? Oh, 2. Oh, no, I didn't. Hello. Miss McAnally was correct, right? I was thinking that I was going up, but I plugged in 1 and I got out 1. So it would go there. And that would be my parabola. Okay. On the back, it says for y equals ax squared plus bx plus c, the y-coordinate of the vertex is the minimum value of the function if a is greater than 0, or the maximum value of the function if a is less than 0. Okay, so if we have a parabola that has ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, this number, is bigger than 0, anything bigger than 0, anything positive, it's going to give us a parabola like this, and the vertex is going to be the minimum. Right? That's the lowest point that's going to be on our graph. Remember how a couple days ago we talked about, well, what if A is negative? Remember, that means it's going to open down. And if it opens down, then this number, the vertex, is going to be the maximum, right? It can't go any higher than that. So it says, tell whether the function f of x equals negative 3x minus 12x plus negative 3x squared plus 12x, or minus 12x plus 10 has a minimum or a maximum value. So if this is negative, it's going to open down, so it's going to have to be a maximum. Okay, and that maximum is just the vertex. So that's what we're going to find. We're going to do it the same way we did it on the front page. So we're going to do negative b over 2a. So negative negative 12 over 2 times negative 3. So 12 over negative 6 is negative 2 for the x, right? So if we're filling in our ordered pair, the x value is negative 2. So now, well, what would be the y? So let's put in negative 2 in here. So negative 3 times negative 2 squared minus 12 times negative 2 plus 10. Negative 2 squared is 4. Negative 3 times 4 is negative 12. And then minus 12 times negative 2 is negative 24, and then plus 10. So negative 12 plus 24 is going to be positive 12 plus 10 would be 22. So we don't have to graph this, it doesn't ask us to, but if we did, it would be negative 2, 22, and it would be opening down. Okay, on the next one, because this is positive, that means it's opening up. So that means that this value, the vertex, has to be the minimum. So for the minimum, what we're going to do, same thing, we're going to do negative b over 2 times a. So negative 18 over 2 times 6 is 12. Okay, so let's simplify. That's negative 3 over 2. Right? Negative b over 2 times a. So I'm going to go ahead down here. I'm going to fill that in as my x. And you're probably like, no, fractions. Okay, you can do it. So we're going to do 6 times negative 3 over 2 squared plus 18 times negative 3 over 2 plus 13. So negative 3 over 2 squared means negative 3 over 2 times negative 3 over 2, which is 9 over 4. Okay, we're dealing with this part first. 4 and 6 are both divisible by 2. That becomes 2 and 3. So I get 27 over 2 plus 18 times negative 3. I could simplify it, and I'll show you why I'm not in a second. 18 times 3 is, 54 over 2, and then plus 13. Okay, the reason that I left it is because now they have a common denominator. 27 and negative 54 is negative 27 over 2 plus 13. How many times can 2 go into 27? It goes in 13 and a half times plus 13. That's negative a half.